In most groups of friends, one of them will eventually go to all the other friends' funerals, and one of them won't go to anyone's funeral. The biggest plot hole of the zombie apocalypse is that every zombie's pants would fall around their ankles once their waistline thinned out enough. It'd be real cool if bags of dog food had toys the way cereal boxes do. Humans are most physically vulnerable when naked, yet nothing is more physically threatening than a naked person running at you. You hope that your friends forget your embarrassing moment, but in reality you probably forget all of theirs. You could probably get a GIF tattooed in the Harry Potter universe. If you see someone wearing a $20,000 watch, it's hard to know if they're really good with money or really bad with money. Being able to read minds would actually suck, since with most people you'd just hear the same 5 seconds of a song playing on loop. People who say they give 110% are often criticized on the grounds it's impossible to give more than 100%. Yet it is possible if the percentage is relative to outside expectations. E.g., if the target is to sell 100 items and you don't stop until you've sold 110, you just delivered 110%. Static shocks you get when touching things must be one hell of a lightning storm for the bacteria on your skin. If the Bloodhound Gang song about doing it like they do on the Discovery Channel were written today, they would be singing about having sex on a crab fishing boat, or with gold miners, or while flipping cars in Texas. If there was an STD that decreased the size of male genitalia, nobody would think twice about wearing a condom ever again. The main reason why there are more males playing video games than girls is because most parents bought shitty girl games to the females when they were young and ended up thinking that all games were bad and boring. No wonder cats and dogs hate each other. One wags their tail when they're excited, the other when annoyed. It's all a huge misunderstanding. If we mounted cameras on garbage trucks, Google Maps Street View could update weekly. There are two types of hotel guests in the world: those who ask when tomorrow's breakfast begins, and those who ask when it ends. If your identical twin got plastic surgery, it would be hard not to feel a little insulted. When you're sick, the advice you get is to literally do drugs and stay out of school. Before a movie starts at a theater, it's just 60 people sitting in the dark eating corn. If everybody you meet is a friendly and nice person, it's probably because you are. The last 10% of a tube of toothpaste lasts about as long as the first 90%. Kids who get the perfect attendance award are either really lucky to have avoided being sick most of the year, or really unlucky to have parents that made them go to school even when they felt like shit. There is a finite number of people who were born the same year as you. Every time one of them dies, you are closer to being the last one. Thrift stores will have a lot of YouTuber merch in 10 to 20 years. If you have to purchase a VIP ticket for an event, you probably aren't an actual VIP. 2019 will probably be the last year that ends with teen for the rest of our lives. If elevators didn't exist, the penthouse would be for poor people. Nothing makes you sweat like realizing you forgot to put on deodorant. If I get up 10 minutes earlier than usual, I treat it like 2 extra hours and end up late for work. After honey was first discovered, there was likely a period where people were taste testing any available slime from insects. Justin Bieber's baby video getting almost 300k dislikes taken off in one day due to people wanting Rewind 2018 as the most disliked vid is the perfect example of how turning the hate onto another thing is the fastest way to clear hate. Most guys easily notice girls flirting with their friends but can't get the hint when a girl is flirting with them. Farts are completely harmless, other than an unpleasant odor, but are seen as rude and disgusting, yet sneezes, which could literally spread a disease which wipes out humanity, are perfectly fine. In the distant future, when all of the world's languages are condensed into a single universal common language, fuck is totally going to make the cut. It's common for babies to fall asleep and wake up in different locations all the time, but as an adult the idea of that happening is terrifying. One day soon there will probably be a "yo mama so old" joke that ends in something like "she grew up without the internet," and it will be devastating. DIY saves hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. You just need hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars worth of equipment to do it. Over the past year I've taken so many before pictures of my body while telling myself I'm going to start working out. I basically just have a slideshow of me getting fatter. Star Trek watched in another language than English is more realistic, as everyone's lip movements doesn't add up to what they say, because the universal translator translates their speech into your mother language. The 1950s must have smelled so bad, everyone smoked indoors, terrible car exhaust, coal smog clouds, hot dog jello salads. Nobody gave us the source code for how our bodies work, so we basically spent centuries reverse engineering ourselves. The difference between a good guy and a bad guy in movies is that a good guy can always reach an object when they're being pinned down. EA's slogan "It's in the game" doesn't really make sense anymore. Your tongue's ability to detect hair is underrated. Learning about sex by watching porn is like learning to drive by watching Fast and Furious. The best part of a cucumber tastes like the worst part of a watermelon. In the future, Google Earth will be able to offer entire views of the world as it was hundreds of years ago. Because the letter X is how we close apps or windows, it's likely that we see it 100 times more often each day than people did 30 plus years ago. If there is a mile-high club, then there probably is a mile-below club that marine biologists and deep ocean explorers join. 2019 will be last year of our lives with teen in it. 75% of Reddit going dark means this is probably my best chance of ever getting to the front page. Since dust is partly made of human cells, an old library isn't just a collection of books but also a collection of the people who walk through it. We were all told in school to write interesting hooks at the beginning of essays to get the audience's attention, but now we're all pissed off when we see clickbait headlines on news. "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned," and "I'm sorry, Daddy, I've been very naughty" are simultaneously saying very similar and very different things. Dogs enjoy being petted because it feels just like their mother licking them. So when you pet a dog and it tries to lick your hand, it's actually trying to pet you back. 80s and 90s kids got sick of their moms telling them to pause the game, so they grew up, became developers, and invented games that can't be paused. People hate writing essays for school, yet will willingly write a 10-paragraph long essay with sources to win an argument online. People who voluntarily take parenting classes are not the people who need to take parenting classes. Getting rickrolled isn't too bad, considering that Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up" is honestly a nice song. Nothing takes you down a notch in confidence more than unexpectedly choking on your own saliva when you're not even eating anything. Nudists must have troubles cleaning their glasses. Smartphones are probably responsible for reducing graffiti in public toilets. Jet lag must be a real son of a bitch in the Star Wars universe. Movies with campfire scenes always seem to forget to make the smoke annoyingly blow into the characters' faces no matter where they move. Wireless chargers make your phone movement more limited than the wired one. The fact that our body knows the difference between a gas and a solid and which is safe to expel at any given time is greatly underappreciated. When people say scientists are sometimes wrong, they omit the fact that the people who disprove scientists are mostly other scientists. 25-cent candy machines are becoming a better value every year due to inflation. They haven't changed the prices in decades and usually dispense the same amount of candy. The scariest thing we could discover on another planet would be humans. A little kid can be naked in public but not in pictures online, but adults can't be naked in public but can be in pictures online. We use tables to keep food off the floor, tablecloths to keep food off the table, placemats to keep food off the tablecloth, and plates to keep food off the placemats. If humans ever go to war with AI, we'll have to send coded messages to each other in the form of CAPTCHAs. Even if I agree with your bumper sticker 100%, I still think less of you for having a bumper sticker. A fighter pilot's drive home must be incredibly boring. There are probably a ton of kids today that have no idea that computer mice used to have rubber balls instead of optical sensors. Ever since 1773, the oceans are just a lot of really weak tea. Society just went ahead and made chocolate and vanilla opposites. The most pointless use of plastic is those fake credit cards that come in the mail, designed to be thrown away. Baking bread basically involves creating a rich and warm environment for a species to thrive and then initiating a mass extinction event. Earth is a planet that tells other planets if they are planets or not. For every successful before and after weight loss image there must be thousands of hopeful before shots that never made it to a celebratory post. Using a dollar bill as a bookmark is cheaper than buying a bookmark. It's weird how an attractive face is the criteria by which we decide whether or not to lick the area a person pees from. Maybe dogs like to fetch sticks because our ancestors threw spears to hunt wild animals, so they made dogs go fetch them for faster reload. 5 is like an honorary even number. The Millennium Falcon's off-center cockpit feels weird until you realize that's how you drive your car. I bet people with one arm are amazing at spooning.